Internal audit is changing, and most businesses aren't ready. Right then, let's have a quiet word about internal audit. Because while most businesses are busy focusing on growth, transformation, AI strategies, and whatever new must-have framework arrived in last month's board pack, internal audit has been quietly changing in the background. And I do mean quietly. The sort of quiet that makes people assume nothing much is happening, right up until someone asks the wrong question in the right meeting. Now, traditionally, internal audit had a very clear identity: periodic reviews, control testing, process walkthroughs, a polite knock on the door asking, "Do we have a documented policy for that?" while everyone suddenly remembers an urgent prior engagement. Very structured, very methodical, and very contained. But that world is gone, and most businesses haven't fully noticed yet, because internal audit is no longer a backward-looking function that checks whether controls used to work. It is becoming a forward-looking function that tests whether the business will keep working at all, and that is a very different conversation. Today, internal audit is moving into continuous assurance, not once a year, not once a quarter, but embedded, always on, monitoring risk, controls and behaviour in real time while the business is still making decisions that haven't yet appeared in the year-end report. Which means internal auditors are no longer just reviewers, they are observers of the present, and sometimes predictors of what is about to go wrong before anyone else is ready to admit it. Now, technology has accelerated all of this. Automation handles the repetitive testing, data analytics scans full populations of transactions, AI highlights anomalies faster than any manual review ever could, which sounds efficient, and it is, until you realise what it really does. It raises expectations, because if you can see everything, you are expected to see everything. And that's where businesses start to feel slightly uncomfortable, because internal audit is no longer about sampling a few controls and forming a reasonable opinion. It is about interrogating entire systems of behaviour and asking whether the organisation is actually as controlled as it thinks it is, or whether it has simply become very good at looking controlled on the surface. And here's the shift that really matters. Internal audit is becoming far more influential. Not just assurance, but insight. Not just compliance checking, but risk shaping. Internal auditors are increasingly expected to understand the business deeply, where value is created, where processes quietly drift, where decisions are made informally, and then later explained formally. Which, in some organizations, is a much larger gap than anyone likes to admit in writing. And then there is culture, because internal audit is no longer just about systems. It's about behavior, tone at the top, decision-making habits, and whether people feel comfortable escalating issues, or whether issues tend to self-resolve, right up until they very much don't. Now, here's the slightly uncomfortable truth for many businesses. Internal audit is evolving faster than their expectations of it. They still think in terms of assurance cycles. While internal audit is moving into real-time risk intelligence, they still think in reports. While internal audit is increasingly operating in dashboards, analytics, and continuous monitoring environments, and they still think internal audit is something you get through. When in reality, it's becoming something that runs alongside the business at all times, not intrusive, but persistent, calm, observant, and occasionally very well timed. So what does this all mean? It means internal audit is no longer a function you engage once a year and politely tolerate. It is becoming a strategic layer of the organization, helping leadership understand not just whether things are working, but whether they are quietly drifting in the wrong direction while everyone is busy looking at performance metrics that still look reassuringly green. And that is why most businesses aren't fully ready for it, because internal audit has stopped being about the past and started becoming about the future. And once that shift happens properly, there's no going back to just checking the controls. Thank you for viewing. If you are enjoying the series, please consider subscribing to Sheridan Main Recruitment TV. Until next time, tune in next week to find out why leadership is the ultimate finance skill now.